Hey guys, FilmCrazyAdam here. Happy 4th of July. I hope everyone has a great day today, or more accurately, I hope everyone had a great day, because I'm about to go see Transformers 4, Transformers Age of Extinction, and after that I got a barbecue to go to, and then I'm going to go see fireworks, because that's what Americans do on the 4th of July. Barbecue, friends, fireworks, explosions. I'm going to get the explosions now with the movie, and then barbecue and fireworks. That's what we do on the 4th of July, because I am free to do whatever I want. America. No, seriously though, the review will probably be up tomorrow at the earliest. And yeah, on a quick side note, I want to say it might not be the best country in the world. We sure as hell have our shortcomings, judicial, political, financial, economical. There's a lot of jerks out there, but honestly, I do want to believe that for the most part, everyone is trying to make the world a better place. Not everyone is trying to dick another person over. And honestly, I don't want to live anywhere else. This is the best place I can find on the map. And that's only because Mars hasn't been colonized yet. But seriously, I am free here to do whatever I can dress however I want. I can talk about whatever I want and post it anywhere I want. There's no worry that some black op ninja squirrels are going to come take me in my sleep and you'll find my head floating down a canal anywhere. Yeah, no, not at least from the government. So, say what you will. I'm proud to be an American. Moving on, Transformers 4. Where's my head at going in on that? Not for nothing, I feel like I'm about to waste my time. I feel like this might be a repeat of last year when I went to go see Lone Ranger on this day. And that was also a colossal waste of time. The thing with Transformers, though, is that they've got a proven track record that each movie from the first one has gotten progressively worse. A lot worse. However, this movie has the Dinobots in it, which could just be nothing. And it doesn't have Shia LaBeouf. Now, not to completely rip on that guy, though, I don't really care for him. He was okay in Disturbia. I think Shia LaBeouf would be good as a side character movie. Like, he's not main character material. He is a sidekick or side character. I don't think he has the gravitas, except in a comedy, to really carry a movie along. So the fact that he's nowhere in this movie, that is a huge plus. At least I don't think he is. I haven't seen him in any of the trailers. Looks like Mark Wahlberg is going to be the main character. And honestly, I like Mark Wahlberg, so I'm really looking forward to this. In terms of, I think he'll make it better. So, let's see. I'm going in open-minded. I always do. Trust me, I always do. Again, I don't want to waste my time. This movie is 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that. Plus trailers, that's another 20 minutes, so it's like 3 hours, 5 minutes. The trip there is going to be like 15 minutes, and the trip back is going to be another 15 minutes, plus standing in line adds another 40 minutes. So this comes down to, just from the time I turn off the camera, and then if I were to come straight back, it's about 3 hours, 45 minutes. The better part of 4 hours. And I'm going to be buying popcorn. Time and money goes into watching these movies in theaters. Again, believe me, I know I come off like hating a lot of movies. There have been a few recently that I thought were pretty good. But I don't hate them just to hate them just for your entertainment, though I hope you do get entertainment value out of it. I hate them because I genuinely don't like them and I think they're badly made. So whenever I go see a bad movie, the reason why I get so pissed off isn't just kind of on a whim, like, you know what, I didn't really care for that guy's acting or the costume he wore or the CGI. It really is, I just spent money and time that I could have been doing anything else. I could be doing another episode of Life with Ponies. I could be working on I Heard That Movie Sucks. I could be making myself a sandwich. But no! I spent 4 hours wasting my time. I really hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, I'm going to go see this movie. Based on the track record of Transformers up to now, I'm not expecting it to be good. Each movie has gotten more or less progressively longer. and more time consuming. And there seems to be a lot, at least in 2 and 3, each one exponentially, the amount of padding went up. The movie was much longer than needed to be, and because this movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes, I think it's going to fall kind of the same way. So, I'm not expecting a lot. I'm really not. But I'm going in with an open mind, hoping that it's not a waste of time. I hope I come back and tell you that this is the greatest freaking movie of the summer. So let me go see that, and hopefully you'll see me do that when I come back. Alright, bye. America. Okay. As you can see, I'm still wearing my clothes from yesterday. Kind of, after the, I didn't get home till late, bottom line. I didn't get home till late, so I'm still wearing my clothes from yesterday. I watched the movie, barbecue, fireworks. Thank God for those fireworks and that barbecue, or else I would have shot myself. That movie, not Prometheus bad, not Man of Steel bad, not even Star Trek bad, just a waste of my time. Complete waste of my time. No! Not a complete waste of my time. Oh my God! Alright. In this movie, there is a scene that goes from about 1.5 to 2 seconds long that actually made the movie worthwhile. Like, sitting in that theater, surrounded by 100 other people, it made it worthwhile because this thing happens on screen. And immediately I go, oh my God! That was my reaction when I saw, and I kid you not on this. There you are. On screen, in the live-action Transformers 4 movie, I kid you not, could not be more serious, you see Rainbow Dash! Freaking Rainbow Dash appeared in the Transformers 4 movie. Basically, this Rainbow Dash, but the size of my cat Gandalf, was in this movie. It was... I'm going to try and find the clip online. I'll splice it in right now as I'm talking, if I can find it. God, awesome! That was such a fanboy moment, it wasn't even funny. Where it's... I'll get to this. They have this material where it's basically matter that can disassemble and reassemble itself, but in a different form. So it's the same matter, but it just transmutates for the most part. And so this guy is holding this Rainbow Dash, which then transforms. It disassembles and reassembles into an assault rifle. Seeing Rainbow Dash on screen made this not a complete waste of time. It's the one saving grace that I'm like, you know what? That wasn't a complete waste of time. But for the most part, it was a complete waste of time. Alright. Where do I begin with Transformers Age of Extinction? I will tell you now, I don't recommend this movie. Not because it was not because it was god-awful. It wasn't god-awful. It was just a waste of time. If you've seen Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon, is it Dark of the Moon or Dark Side of the Moon? Dark of the Moon. If you've seen that movie, you've seen this movie. If you've seen that movie, you've seen this movie. So, it's not without entertainment value. It has your explosions that you expect in a Michael Bay movie. It has the transformations, not nearly as much as you would want, or hoped for, or expected. It had Optimus Prime. It had Galvatron, and I'll get to him too. But it was Dark of the Moon all over again. This movie was Dark of the Moon. It was Transformers 3 with a different lead actor, and just... That's it. That's it. Different lead actor. So yeah, I don't recommend this movie. I don't recommend it. It's... If you go see it, it's a popcorn movie. It's an action, explosions, Michael Bay, Transformers. I'm trying to give it benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to. I honestly really do try to do good column, bad column. I honestly try to do this. I try to say, here's my overall opinion. This is what's bad, but there's good parts to it. So it's not a complete, utter pile of crap like Prometheus. So before I talk about why it was such a waste of time, I think I have to go back to the beginning of the Transformer movie franchise, and we'll talk. So Transformers from 2007. Yeah, 2007. Transformers, first one came out in 2007. This movie, in a nutshell, was the forces of good, forces of bad, fighting over a single artifact. There was an artifact that was on Earth called the Allspark, which was this. It was a cube. It was a block. It was a cube. And the bad guys wanted it because with this cube, they could... Basically, the cube could animate mechanical things into robots, and they could build an army. They could build a legion of robots that they've created out of already pre-existing machines, and then just wage war on the good guys, and also annihilate life on Earth. So the good guys, of course, found it, kept it away, and the good guys and bad guys fought while trying to wrestle control of this from either side. So, honestly, not a bad story right there. You have the good guys, you have the bad guys. There was like 6 Autobots, 6 Decepticons. Each of them had each side had names. You knew like Bumblebee and Optimus and Ratchet and Jazz, and on the other side you had Megatron and Starscream and Blackout and Devastator. So you could point them and they had names. They weren't faceless, and so they fought each other, and it was just enough guys that you could actually have. Okay, these guys are fighting on this side of the city. These guys are fighting over here. These guys are still on the highway. It's Optimus versus Devastator. It's Bumblebee versus Blackout. So it was easy to follow, and it wasn't out of anyone's wheelhouse. And you could actually... It was a decent enough story. The acting and the editing in that movie were actually... Like I said, Shia LaBeouf is not main character. He's not main character. He can't carry a movie. He's a goofball. He's a sidekick. He's the funny guy that cracks jokes all the time. I'm going to argue against it. This was an action comedy. Transformers is not an action comedy. Especially in the third movie or the second, third, and fourth movie where literally the fate of the planet, life everywhere is about to get eradicated. So when you talk about global extinction, it stops being a comedy at that point. Unless it's Zombieland. So, alright, backtracking. That movie was actually okay. I actually stand up for the first movie. It's not a bad movie. Choppy editing. You could have put someone else as the main character, but the fights are there, the tension is there, and it's easy to follow. Second movie. Now there is an army of Decepticons. It's more or less the same Autobots, plus a couple more, but there's an army of Decepticons, and we only know the name of 3 of them. We know Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream, and we don't even know the names of the individual ones that make up Devastator. Which, why did they have him to open up the pyramid? That was stupid. So in the second one, we now have an army of Decepticons who, when they're walking across the desert trying to find Sam, who has the Matrix of Leadership. Again, with each Transformer movie, let me backtrack. I know I'm tangenting with this, but each Transformer movie, by the way, is all the same movie. First movie, they were fighting over the Allspark. Second movie, they're fighting over the Matrix of Leadership. Third movie, they're fighting over that red button that fires off the main ship that Spock was controlling. This movie, the fourth movie, they're fighting over a seed. So it's literally the good guys and the bad guys are fighting over control of something. Usually it's the good guys have it and the bad guys are trying to get it from them. So that's one of the reasons why Transformers 4 was another waste of time. I've seen this movie. I've seen it 4 times now. They're always fighting over something. The good guys usually have it. The bad guys want it to erase life on the planet. It's just the same movie. They're doing it the same thing over and over again. But they started to break this process away in Transformers 2 where, like I said, Transformers, it's in the name. They're called Transformers. Robots in disguise. They transform from toasters, from cars, from tanks, from soda machines, into a robot. The whole point of Transformers, all the Transformers, cartoon, movies, is I want to see that truck transform into a robot and punch that one in the face. That's it, plain and simple. That is the basis, and that is the bottom line of Transformers. Truck, transform into a robot, punch that one in the face. And it was awesome, and they got it right for the first 5 minutes of Transformers 2, where the only good part of that movie was when they drop Optimus out of that airplane. There's this truck, and the lights go on, the music swells, and this truck just drops out of this airplane, and then transforms into a robot, and then pulls the chute, and then like cuts the chute, and then as he's falling, rolls and transforms into a truck as he's rolling, and then transforms into a robot and punches another one in the face. Awesome! That couldn't have been done any better. Now, if you could just keep doing that, that'll be a good movie, but they didn't. Going back to what I mean by it's all in the name. They're called Transformers. They transform from things. In the second movie, they stopped transforming, for the most part. Like, the Decepticons showed up en masse in an army to Earth, and they never transformed. They don't have names. We don't know who these guys are. They all look basically alike. Just big, gray, robotic, zombie-like walkers just shooting things. We don't know who they are, so it's like, oh, he got that one. You don't know who they're fighting, and so you don't... The kills don't mean as much. Think about it when you play a video game. When you're just cruising through a level, you know, you're grinding through a level, and the random encounters and the just random zombies or soldiers or whoever shows up, you don't care. It's just whatever. I don't care. It doesn't. I can plow down 100 of them, and you don't care. You care when you get to the boss, because the boss is a little bit tougher, and it has a name, and it's distinct. And so, in that sense, they drop the ball. It's like, now I don't care. They're just grinding out bad guys. And in Transformers 2, they never made any ground, it seemed. When they were trying to get to Optimus Prime, and when they're trying to get across the desert, they never seem to get any closer. Plus, why didn't anybody just transform into a truck and drive Sam over to Optimus? Moving on to Transformers 3, again, it's all the same. I'm not even going to go into Transformers 3 because Transformers 2 is just more of the same in Transformers 3. Only they're now trying to outdo, like each movie, they're trying to outdo each other and trying to end the world more spectacularly. How many Earth-ending weapons do we have stored on our planet? Who builds these things and leaves them here? Is this like the weapons locker for Transformers, for Cybertronians? Like they build Earth-ending weapons for Earth, on Earth, and then leave it here? Why do we have so many of these things on this planet? Ugh. It's so stupid. They had story arcs and shit in the cartoon. Each episode, they had different problems. Why can't they do that with the movie here? Ugh. So, Transformers 3, it was more the same. And again, army of Decepticons, you don't know who any of them are. Any of them. Megatron and Starscream, that's it. You have no idea who the rest of these jerks are. And the Autobots, you see more of them fighting than you do transforming. They did a lot of really good transformations in 1 and 2. But 3, and especially 4, they have this tendency to, here's Optimus Prime walking around. It cuts to Mark Wahlberg and his daughter, cuts back, and it's just the truck. I want to see the transformation. The transformation is cool. We love the transformation. Again, they're called Transformers. We want to see that transition. Of course, we love the sound effect too. Wah, 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 wah. Hold on. Let me try and get this focused again. Okay. I've spent way too much time not actually talking about Transformers 4 in this Transformers 4 review. I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to kind of lay all that down to spell it out that in Transformers 4, it is way too freaking long. You've seen this movie before. It's the exact same story. It's a waste of your time. Like I just said, the Transformers are there. You've got Optimus, you've got Bumblebee, you've got John Goodman, you've got Ken Watanabe. I'm not kidding about that either. And I'm wondering, on that note, on the note of Ken Watanabe, they did not hide in any way, shape, or form that he's a samurai. He could not be more samurai. Like, could not be more freaking samurai. He has samurai swords. He's dressed like a samurai. He's played by Ken Watanabe. He sounds Japanese. I mean, and so now, on a side note, I'm wondering if somebody's going to call racism on that. Oh, that guy's oh, you're being racist because he's not white. I'm going to tangent big time, and I got to know. Transformers 2, and I might be digging myself a hole with this. Why does everyone say Mudflap and the other dude are racist? Hear me out, because just because they have bad grammar, just because it sounds like they didn't make it through the 3rd grade, that doesn't mean that they're speaking ghetto talk. Because, again, hear me out. If you're talking from a visual standpoint, people are like, well, they're being derogatory towards African Americans. For the record, correct me if I'm wrong, but their faces resemble more of the ogres from Disney's Gummy Bears than actual human faces. So I don't see how you can make the comparison visually, like, oh, they're trying to be derogatory towards African Americans. Plus, if you put an ever so slightly just southern drawl on their voice, I mean, they just played, I think the voice actors, they just played it straight as, we're just going to talk really bad grammatically. If you put a southern drawl on that voice, on their voice, just the slightest bit, they would sound so redneck, they would sound so West Virginian, like back hills, hillbilly, swamp people. They would sound so redneck, it's not even funny. Just a slight southern drawl. But for some reason, it's completely, like, maybe I don't see it. Like, I want to think of myself as a slightly, not transcendent, but like, I don't see it. People were mad that, like, Jazz, like, people were like, oh, he's black, and that's racist. Jazz was awesome! I mean, so he did a little spin, and he said, what's cracking, and that was it. And then, he was the one that died for the team. Like, he took on Megatron. How badass is that? People are like, oh, that's racist. Like, he's the most badass person on the team. He's the toughest guy there. It's not negative. There is no negative connotation to this. With Mudflap and the other guy, like I said, if you change the drawl ever so slightly, they would sound redneck. And no one would have a problem with this. I mean, if we really want to get into racism in movies, Rush Hour, all 3 of them, are the most racist movies ever to be made. Maybe not ever to be made, but they are freaking racist. Everything that comes out of Chris Tucker's mouth, to every race. No race in particular, all of them. He is just racist, but it's funny. It's funny, it's hilarious, and I can get past the connotation and the, and the implied negativity because I see it for the comedy. And again, I think that's where I'm trying to come from on my point of view on this. I thought the samurai thing was cool. Well, no, I thought it was kind of like, really? Are they doing this? Why are they as a samurai? But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get hung up on this. Whew. God, I really hope I just didn't dig myself a hole. I'm gonna change gears because I feel like that could be rough. That might bite me in the ass. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this movie. The 4th movie. And I'm doing a real bad job about this review, but that's because it's hard to really focus on any one thing. It's hard to find something good in this movie. It's hard to find something that I haven't already talked about. Alright, I'm going to talk about what was bad in this movie. The computer graphics for the Transformium, and that's another thing. Remember how I said Rainbow Dash disassembles and transforms? When you think, alright, Transformers, you think of them as, okay, they're aliens with with metallic skin. Parts of it, they disassemble. They don't disassemble, but they transform. Parts move out of place, and they become robots. Now, one big argument, and I concede this argument, is that it's hard to see what's happening in a melee fight. They're punching each other. Like when humans fight, you can see my arm. It's a solid piece. It's evenly colored all the way down. it's easy for the most, almost impossible to not see the distinction between human people when they're fighting. These robots, they're mostly gray, so those colors tend to blend together as it is. And when it's like, not pixelated, but when they jumble and they're moving so fast and there's nothing smooth about them, they all kind of blend together. I agree with that. Like, that was terrible whenever they're melee fighting, because you don't know what's going on. You can't tell what's happening there. You just know that they're kind of rolling around on the floor. However, in this movie, they tried to give us some BS that Transformers are made out of a material called transformium. Not adamantium, not unobtainium, transformium. And this is the stuff that allows them to transform. And that's what they're made of. And it's complete and utter fertilizer. I mean, so stupid. I was like, oh God, what? What are we doing? When I was watching this movie, I was like, what are we doing? What the hell are we doing? What are you selling me here? What are you trying to sell me? And so, whenever there's a robot that's made out of transformium, transforms, it doesn't transform like a normal transformer. It literally, like, disintegrates into cubes the size of croutons, and then flies around, and then, like, reassembles into something different. I'm not kidding. And it looks so stupid. The graphics for the Transformium are just horrendous. Just unforgivably, disgustingly, completely, just, it's a crime. It's a... Come on! You got like $1 billion to make this movie, Michael Bay. How could... It's just terrible. It really is. The graphics for the Transformer are just terrible. Terrible. Sorry, Rainbow Dash. You couldn't help it. So, you have that. You have this new Transformium gimmick, and you have these terrible graphics for that. That's one thing. Mark Wahlberg in this movie is okay. He has a daughter who is not okay. She was not that great of an actress. Not the worst. She was honestly kind of on par with Megan Fox, and that's a big insult, I think. She wasn't that much better than Megan Fox, and she had way too much eyeshadow, or whatever that, mascara, eyeshadow? What is that? I don't know. Way too much eye makeup in this movie. Also, there's things that happen for no reason in this movie. Just out of the blue, things happen for no reason. At one point, the FBI shows up, or no, the CIA shows up to Mark Wahlberg's house because, here's another thing. They're hunting, and by they I mean the humans, are hunting down, actively hunting down Autobots. Not like Transformers in general. Like, I can see how, at the end of the third movie, Chicago was pretty effed up. They killed a lot of people. They destroyed a lot of that city. So the humans on Earth, we don't want aliens here. We don't care about the, we don't care about aliens. We don't care that you tried to help us. We want you off. But to actively hunt them down and murder them, in fact, that's another thing that I didn't quite get. Each movie, progressively, the humans in each of those movies hate the Autobots, well, Transformers in general, but specifically the Autobots, more in each movie. In the first movie, they hated them after the first movie. They hated them even more in the third movie. We tried to kick them off the planet in the third movie. This movie, we hate them so much that we're hunting them down. Not only are we hunting them down, but we are teaming up with robot alien bounty hunters. I'm not kidding. Robot alien bounty hunters to hunt them down. It's really stupid. But there's a scene where, like, there's an 800 number out there that if you know about a Transformer, please call this number, and there's like a reward. And so this one idiot dude that works for Mark Wahlberg calls the government, and they show up, and things are about to go really bad because Mark Wahlberg has Optimus Prime. And then this car comes out of nowhere. I thought maybe it was another Autobot. No, it's his daughter's boyfriend, who there's like no backstory to. I mean, like, he talked, I think he says his parents are dead, and he's a very good racer. But who the hell is this guy, and why is he here, and how did he come out of nowhere, and how did he know to be at the house, and, you know, it's those questions. It's like, that was a huge problem in this movie. Who is this guy? There's a lot of who is this person, and why are they there, and why did that happen moments in this movie. It is a bad movie. But they even screw up the fight scenes. And you say, how do you screw up a fight scene? You let it run for 25 minutes and don't do anything new for that 25 minutes. Like, imagine if... let me think of anything. I can't think... Imagine if you're watching like a football game and the only thing that ever happens is one guy passes the ball to this guy and he passes it back. And there's no strategy, there's no play. Like, every play was the exact same play. And so after the first 2 minutes, nothing is predictable. I mean, everything is predictable. Everything is predictable after the first 2 minutes. Each fight scene was basically this guy, John Goodman's robot, shooting at people, and then maybe it'll cut to someone else as they're being shot, cuts back to him as he's shooting, cuts back to the samurai guy as he's cutting up people, cuts back. They just ran too long. These fight scenes, they ran for 25 freaking minutes. There's like 3 fight scenes that run for like the entire last half of the movie. They almost don't do anything except fight when they get to China. Also, I don't know why they had Dinobots in this movie. Like, there was literally no reason for them to have Dinobots at all. You can't even say that it was for the push at the very end. Like we're here and we're going to use them to fight the aliens. We could have had a kind of secret weapon, or we could have actually written an actual good script with intelligent storytelling and planning. But no. There's no intelligence in this movie. This movie's not a smart movie. I mean, it's a Michael Bay movie. What do you expect? That being said, oh god, what is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going to be like? I gotta see that one. Yeah. I've rambled a lot. How long have I been doing this? Alright. I've rambled a lot at this point. I already said what needed to be said at the beginning of this review, which is, I don't recommend it. It's a complete waste of time. Don't go see this movie. I did, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My childhood. My poor childhood. Why do people find sadistic pleasure in destroying childhoods? Like, the stories are all there. You know, He-Man, Thundercats, Transformers. The stories are there. All you have to do is adapt them into a movie. They have seasons worth of stuff. You could have taken like 2 or 3 episodes and like mushed them together into a movie and it would have been awesome. They had story arcs. They had intelligent characters. They had well-liked, named characters. Ugh. How did you F this up? How? Like, the first one wasn't that good. I mean, it was okay. I mean, story, characters, you could follow it. And then you just got worse and worse. How, like, worse and worse and worse. And longer and longer and longer. So much padding in this movie. Like, just so much walking. And so much running. The running was actually kind of... That was a little bit more interesting. That running... Mark Wahlberg at one point is running from some guy, and like he runs like through China for like 10 minutes. And it's actually pretty cool, because he's like going down buildings and falling down buildings and running through streets. And then there's a chase scene on a motorcycle. That was alright. Yeah. They set it up for a sequel. This is me all burnt out. This is me disappointed. This is the regret flooding back to me. Because I had that barbecue and that was a great palate cleanser, and then the fireworks at the end of the night was even better. I was feeling good when I woke up. Shoot. Well, I guess that's it. Once again, just in conclusion, for Transformers, Age of Extinction, not worth it. Don't go see it. If you've seen Transformers 3, you've seen this movie. I will say that this movie was better than Transformers 3 because it didn't have Shia LaBeouf in it. It had Mark Wahlberg, and he was okay. He was good for this movie. Mark Wahlberg is usually good for He's usually good for a movie. Even in The Happening, which was so bad, which was terrible. He had entertainment value. Oh, backwater, keep on, do do, Mississippi, do 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 do. I don't know that song. All right. At this point, I'm just rambling and mumbling. Don't go see Transformers 4. It was a waste of time. Damn it, they're gonna make a sequel. I know they are. They set it up. What the hell can they do in a sequel that they haven't already done? Let me get back on Life with Ponies. In response to the comment that I left on the end of the last episode of Life with Ponies, I was referring specific. Somebody asked, basically implied, "Are you going to have Trixie?" Well, if you've watched Life with Ponies, then you would already know I've already got Trixie. No, I picked up AJ and Big Mac. First thing I did after I got off the road from my job, I picked up AJ and Big Mac. So I got to start pulling audio for them. I do believe that Rarity is going to be the next pony. Rarity and Daring Do, I'm pretty sure, are the next two ponies to come out. So I got to start pulling massive amounts of audio. Plus, I got to find a theater that's going to be airing Equestria Girls too. Anyway, let me get on that. I hope you guys had a happy 4th of July, and I hope you guys have a good day. Laters!